Hi people, I'm going to do a little tutorial on how I use Pencil 2D today. Starting with the basics. Obviously the pencil tool, you can adjust the size up and down. I normally use 3. Use a strong stabilizer.
A few inches later.
This site is very basic, but for a beginner it is very easy to use. That's to delete everything. Then you have your lines if you want to draw straight lines. So I'll start by drawing a background. We'll go with something fairly easy, say SpongeBob SquarePants. Okay guys, so now we have the background drawn. All it needs to do now is just colour it in. I'll skip past that bit and bring you back shortly. Okay guys, so we finally have a background. To you it's probably took around 10 minutes, but that's roughly took about an hour to draw the background for this. Like I say, you've pretty much drawn everything from scratch. That's all frame by frame. So now we have a background. I'm going to add in, by pressing F6 you can duplicate the whole frame on your timeline. And I'll just add in some bubbles just to make it look more underwater, a bit more detail. So we go to frame 2 and we'll just draw the outline of a bubble.
Three weeks later.
Now we'll play it and see what it looks like. There we go. We have one bubble. Now we'll add a couple more in. Finally we have 2 bubbles. Let's see what it looks like. There we go. So bit of an animation. Now all we need is some characters, so we'll draw SpongeBob and Patrick. If you put your onion layer on, right, so now we've got SpongeBob. I don't normally draw the hands and legs because on pencil you can't. There's no bones, so you can't move it manually. So you've got to redraw. Obviously, every frame, every picture. If you're drawing movement, you're gonna have to draw the arms moving, the legs moving, which can be repetitive. But like I say, it's basic software. It is good. It is good for beginners, obviously. And if you don't mind, if you haven't got a lot to do in the day and you don't mind, it keeps you busy drawing the same thing over and over. So now we draw Patrick. Okay, so now we have the characters, we can copy them and add them into our frames wherever we want. Obviously size them. Let's put him there for a minute. There we go, and we now have Patrick in the background. We'll leave Patrick in one place. And we can bring in SpongeBob. Okay, so let's just see what that looks like now. There you go, and then all we need to do now is animate SpongeBob walking, and then we have a sequence. I'll just do that now. Okay, so I'm just for basics, I'll just draw 2 frames of SpongeBob moving. Obviously you need to add more frames, you want it to look more like a walk cycle, but we can now copy and add him into the animation. We'll just skip each frame, have him walking. His hand. Obviously, the more you progress, the more you want to be adding more movement into your animations, more detail. You're going to be wanting to use a lot of movement, really. This is just for basic show, so I won't be adding too much in. Okay, and we almost have a walk cycle. Not the greatest, but will do. We just have him there, just for now for a finish. So there you go, let's see what it looks like. Okay, so what we could do here is move these frames across and add a frame where SpongeBob isn't in the frame. It can be this one. I'll just copy where there's nothing and add it here. Get rid of his hand quickly. Say quickly, but you can't really do anything on this quickly, so move that back. Now, okay guys, there you go. We have the basic animation. This roughly took about an hour and a half. So if we play that at about 7 frames per second. I recommend Pencil 2D, like I say, to beginners. I use it because it is easy to use. It is very time consuming. You don't want to be in a hurry to go out anywhere if you are going to start using it. Obviously the more you put into it, the better your outcome, but if you're learning to start with, this is ideal. There is a new version of this out. The negatives of using this, the only thing that I find, sometimes you'll save your project and you'll go to load it and the project will be damaged in some way, or it wasn't saved right, and then you have to redo the whole thing. But that doesn't always happen, so I do suggest, if you are using this, to make another save it as one and then duplicate it, save it